All right. Good afternoon, everyone, or good evening now. It's 5:43 p.m., and I will call the Town Council Personnel Appointments Committee to order. Present, we have Councilor Westervelt, and absent is Councilor McBride. Do we have any calendar communications, Councilor Westervelt?
I do not.
I do not either, other than the communications I've received for the pending applications. There are no minutes to be approved. As
right, minutes were provided.
I guess I don't know if it's because of new session. I did not get any of this agenda, at least. So I don't know if it was approved the last time with Councilor, well, now Representative Baumgartner, if it's like new. So
I thought he had submitted his minutes earlier today, and I thought that Councilor McAllister might have them.
Oh, I have not received anything. Oh, I haven't checked. So something to look into. I'll check that out. New business, various appointments and reappointments for March. So we will move to, we have Mr. David Atwater, who is pending appointment to the Community Development Advisory Committee. So I will make a motion to recommend a resolution appointing the following individual to Community Development Advisory Committee, term ending 2/7/25. So moved.
Second.
All right. Motion made by Jacome, second by Westervelt. All right, Mr. Atwater, would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is David Atwater. I live here in Mystic.
Thank you. Would you like to say something a little bit about yourself, why you're going for the advisory committee, and introduce yourself, anything like that?
I guess the real reason I'm going for the committee is that Natalie Billings asked me if I would be on the committee. I'm registered as an unaffiliated, and she said she needed one person on the committee to be unaffiliated. About 4 years ago, I was a town councilor for a couple of years, so I am familiar with the workings of the town. I don't have any specific background in community development. My work was as a financial planner, so I do have a financial background. We moved here to Mystic about 6 years ago, my wife and I, and she's permanently disabled. As a matter of fact, that was part of the reason for the delay just now, was that the minute we got on Zoom, she rang me that she needed the bathroom, which I have to help her with. So that's, forgive me for that. I didn't mean to take so long, but anyway, that's who I am.
No, absolutely. And no, please don't apologize. And we appreciate you being here, and all the volunteers here who are, going from board to commissions. I did prepare some questions, pretty similar questions for everybody. So I will go ahead and ask my questions, and I'll pass it along to Councilor Westervelt. Why do you wish, so you kind of answered that one already, why you wish to serve on the community development. So I'll ask my second question. Is there something specifically you're interested in pursuing if appointed on the Community Development Advisory Committee?
I don't know if there's anything specific. I mean, one of the things it's so in the news right now is housing, and I strongly think, I guess I will say that it's disappointing to me that even when I was on the council, we had so many vacant properties, school properties, for example, that haven't been developed. It seems like if we need housing, that's one of the ways to go. I don't know if I can offer anything in that regard or not, but that's one of my feelings.
Okay, thank you. I like being a little quirky, so I'll end it with this for my questioning. Can you tell me something interesting about yourself that maybe people would not know?
I just came from a seminar on aging at the senior center, and it was this week's session was on exercise, and I was thinking that it's coming up in June again. I ride in a trek across Maine, 180 miles over 3 days to raise money for the Lung Association, and I was thinking it's time to start training again for the middle of June. So that's something I guess a lot of people don't know about me.
Well, Fascinating. Well, thank you. Councilor Westervelt, you have anything?
Just on a personal level, just happy to meet you. I see on your application that you were a Scoutmaster. May I ask where?
In Concord, Massachusetts.
Okay, nice. I was a Scoutmaster myself, or I was the den leader, or not den leader, but the Cub Master for Groton for 9 years. So I find
Okay.
scouting, if you get involved in scouting, you can be detail oriented, and it shows a strong interest in helping the community. So I appreciate that.
Mhm.
Other than that, I mean, I've got your answers. So I'm good. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So seeing no more discussion, I'll reaffirm the motion as well. So again, it's Mr. Atwater being appointed as an alternate for Community Development Advisory Committee. Your address 18 Nolt Landing Circle and Mystic.
Excuse me, I don't mean to muddy the waters, but Natalie sent me an email a couple days ago, and she wanted me to be a regular panelist so that she could name me as secretary. Has she said anything about that to you?
I have not received any communications on that. My understanding, based on the policies that I've read, for the most part, usually it's alternate to full-fledged member. It usually doesn't need to come back to us, but
Oh, okay. All right.
yeah.
I think that's what she was concerned about, was that if she didn't let you know or whatever, we'd have to have another meeting. But okay, well, be it as it may.
But I will follow up with Betsy on that.
I think we should follow up on that, because
Yep.
I believe that you do, when you move from an alternate to.
You have to come through us?
Or I believe you do have to.
Okay.
I'll make that up.
Okay. So I think we'll do that pending. So I think would you feel comfortable, Councilor Westervelt, going with the alternate position? And if it's going to go full member, we'll bring it back.
I'm comfortable with the
Okay.
alternate position.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So we'll move again, Mr. Atwater, unaffiliated currently as of right now, an alternate for Community Development Advisory Committee, 18 Notes Landing Circle Mystic, in term ending in 2/7/25. I so move. You're seconded. So we will take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions. Motion passes 2-0-0. So thank you. Congratulations, Mr. Atwater. So as you know, it will go to the full council the first Tuesday of the month. We will be voting then. The full council will. So
Okay.
we appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All righty. So now we will move to the appointment of Cindy Berry, 175 Laurelwood Road, to the Complete Streets Advisory Committee, term ending in 2/7/25. Make a motion to recommend this resolution, appoint this individual. I so move.
Second.
Okay, motion made by Councilor Jacome, seconded by Councilor Westervelt. All right, do you like to come up, Miss Cindy Berry? Introduce yourself. Whatever. Thank you. Show this room. So what I would like to know, and I will follow up as well on this with Town Clerk McCousher, is I know there's currently no quorum on the for the Complete Streets Advisory Committee. You two individuals would be the first two on there. So what I did want to ask, if obviously if there's no quorum, you guys would still be meeting and things like that. But I did want to thank both of you who would be coming up as well for taking the time and investing your time with the Complete Streets policy. So let me say that first and foremost. So if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Sure. My name is Cindy Berry. As you said, I live at 175 Laurelwood Road in Groton. I have worked at Ledgelight Health District for 23 years. And it's under that umbrella that I applied for the Complete Streets Committee. I know that there was a member carve out for Ledgelight Health District, and actually it's for our Director of Health, Steve Mansfield, currently, or his designee. So I am here in the capacity of, as you know, my employer. Something that Steve feels very passionate about.
Well, thank you. I'll let you ask Councilor Westfield. Do you have any questions first?
I'm just curious what you do for like.
I'm a health educator. I've worked there in a lot of different capacities, but mostly working on policy, system, and environmental change as it pertains to chronic disease prevention.
Okay, great. Recognizing that you were part of the Complete Streets Committee, I imagine there's probably not a whole lot of other people more qualified than you to do this. You're very familiar with the work that they've done. It's my understanding.
Yes.
And I fully support your joining that committee.
Good. So my questions I had for you, does your experience with Ledge Light Health District bring a different perspective, you think, on specifically for the Complete Streets Advisory?
Oh, absolutely. You know, we've been working in the community for the last, over 23 years. And I think that just my experience with environmental change. So we've done a lot in the community, whether, we started 23 years ago with smoke-free restaurants, did smoke-free parks, school gardens, farmers markets. I had the opportunity in 2012 to work on a grant that was funded by the CDC, and it was to look at infrastructure as it pertains to chronic disease. And I learned a lot about Complete Streets during that time, going actually to the CDC in Atlanta and learning about it. Then also working in the city of New London, getting their first bike lane installed, which was really exciting. And also doing a lot with the city planner and public works to move their Complete Streets work along.
Thank you. And I did have one question based on the application. It did say, as your work, you're coming on as an extension of Ledge Light, and that you're kind of being funded by the 2022-2023 Preventative Health Service Block Grant, correct?
Mm-hmm.
My concern is if that were to run out, would you think that would be, do you see that in the foreseeable future running out and you not being able to remain on this committee?
I do see it running out, and we will need to reapply for October, moving 5 years forward. But we are very committed to this, and it's something that we would fund out of our core budget.
Okay. Thank you for that answer. And I will ask you the same thing. Can you tell us a little something interesting that we would not be able to
God,
know?
doesn't relate to this at all. I'm a potter. I'm an artist, and I do ceramics.
Awesome.
So
Thank you. I like playing.
my little tidbit.
That's awesome. And so I appreciate you coming out today and taking the time. Do you have any questions for us or anything like that?
I'm interested to find out, nobody else applied?
That is the most communication I've had was the two individuals coming today, including yourself.
Okay.
So we're hoping to, I think once there's obvious interest as we're seeing now, then I think hopefully we can get some more people. And I think I will actually be talking with Councilor Westerville and others to see if we can find more people that,
Great. Well, thank you both for your
Thank you.
support.
Appreciate it.
Thanks
Thanks for coming out.
Thanks for coming out.
Mhm.
All right. Is there any more discussion?
No.
All right, seeing none, we'll take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Abstentions? All right, carries 2-0-0. I guess I should say I also voted for Mr. Atwater in favor, if that wasn't clear. All right, we'll move on to our final applicant for the appointment of Brian Kent, D, 101 Prospect Hill Road, to also the Complete Streets Advisory Committee, term ending 2/7/24. I so move.
Second.
All right, moved by Jacome, second by Westervelt. Mr. Kent, would you like to come up, please? Would you like to give a brief introduction, introduce yourself?
Sure. I reside in Groton. I've been a resident here since 1998. And I am currently serving a couple of positions in bicycle and pedestrian advocacy organizations. So first, locally, I'm president of Bike Groton. So we are a 501c3 organization that represents the interest of the cycling and the walking constituency here in Groton. I also serve as vice chair of the Connecticut Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Board, and that's a state level organization that is that was formed by the state's Complete Streets Act in 2014. So we've been meeting since 2014. I've been on the board for about 6 years, and we meet regularly with the Department of Transportation monthly to discuss what's going on around the state with respect to bicycle and pedestrian safety and infrastructure and those kinds of issues. And I'm also a landscape architect with Kent and Frost. I'm one of the principals, and in my professional life, I do bicycle and pedestrian planning and other kinds of quality of life planning and design that deal with mobility and convenience for people that are interested in navigating without having to be in a car.
Perfect. Councilor Westervelt, do you have any questions?
No, actually, I'm very familiar with your work, very familiar with Kent and Frost and all of that. I'm familiar just from my position down in New Haven where I do the streets, traffic and parking and all that. So we're involved with a lot of the complete street stuff and bike lanes and stuff like that. So I've seen some of your work. I really have no other questions. I think you're more than qualified to do this, and I appreciate you stepping forward to do that.
No, absolutely. I can concur with Councilor Westervelt. I think in the buildup and the makeup of the committee that they were looking for is having the pedestrian advocacy organization, and that was actually one of my questions. If you could speak more of Bike Groton, so you explained that perfectly. Is there a certain aspect of an interest or something that you're interested in pursuing if you get on the?
Yes, definitely. So I have an interest in a macro level of the benefit of this committee and what it can do for the town, and in the micro level, what this can do for the town. At the macro level, it's coordinating with your public works department and your planning department and others in Parks and Rec and others in town government that can pool their resources to successfully achieve grant and other kinds of program benefits for the town. In my networking and my position in the state board, I learned about different programs and opportunities for communities to benefit that your town staff may not really be aware of from day to day. And so knowing what's coming down the pipeline and preparing for grant applications and other opportunities can be exceptionally valuable for a municipality. And so I can bring that insight and that information to the table, as well as what's going on in other sectors that is successful, what other communities have tried, lessons learned, because I'm constantly learning about what's going on in other places. And at the micro levels, I've had a very good relationship with your public works director and your Parks and Rec director, and we've been able to get things done over the past couple of years that are just incorporated into routine maintenance that might not otherwise get done because there hasn't been someone to point it out. So since Bike Groton really became active a few years ago, just before the pandemic started, in fact, I think we started really in 2019, we've been able to communicate with Public Works about hazards like river road potholes, for example, or other things that are going on in the town that the staff just might not otherwise be aware of. And it's been a very fruitful kind of micro relationship, and I think that we'll be able to do an even better job of that if we have a full committee and we're meeting regularly. So I only see positive benefits coming out of this.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. And actually, you talked briefly on it, grants. Do you see a wide variety, a pot of money with grants in pedestrian safety and things like that? Yes,
there's quite a bit of public funding for these kinds of programs. The recent infrastructure bill has created a lot of opportunities for that. The state has directed quite a bit of funding, increased the levels of funding for we refer to it as active transportation projects, because there's a recognition that this kind of community investment pays dividends larger than the investment by far, and that it has all kinds of contextual benefits. For example, community development, the interest or the issue you were just covering, the other committee. Community development and quality of life benefit from having a community that's walkable and bikeable. And I mean, you see that in New Haven. The more people are out on the street and feel comfortable in an urban environment without having to be in a car, in the space that you the value of the space that's not dedicated to parking, for example, is so valuable in an urban setting, because it becomes a sidewalk, it becomes a bike lane, it becomes an outdoor cafe, it becomes a park. And these are all things that are otherwise and often occupied by parking lots. So not to put down parking lots, I know we have to have them, but there's such a payback for this kind of investment. And once the residents and the folks in power understand what the value is through living through it, I think they really get on board. So that's our challenge, is to be a cheerleader as much as a doer of good work.
Absolutely, such opportunity. And then of course end with my question. Can you tell us something interesting, an interesting fact about yourself?
Yeah, there's some interesting things. So I kind of lived on the four corners of the United States. I was born in Mill Valley, California, and lived in Seattle, Washington, and then lived for many years in Athens, Georgia, before moving up here to Connecticut. So I've kind of been all the way around the edges, and so I've learned a lot about different places, and I bring that to the table as my experience living in different places and traveling to a lot of different communities.
Absolutely, different perspectives. You've seen it all. All right, Councilor Westwood, you have anything else?
I'm good. Thank you very much.
All right, no other discussion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, seeing no other discussion, I'll move for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstentions, carry 2-0-0. We will move to the next agenda item. Thank you everybody for coming out. Actually, have a good evening.
Thank you very much. Y'all have a great evening.
We'll move on. Do you have any other business?
I do not.
Nope. All right. No other business. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Moved by Westervelt, second by Jacome. We are adjourned at 6:07 p.m. All right, thank you. Yeah, we'll vote just in case, actually. All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, passes 2-0-0. Thank you.